Then some very interesting people in the field of endocrinology started to notice that when ambient fields of energy, like light, interacted with the body, what happened is the person made a meaning. They weren't reacting to a color. The way they related to this energy caused some sort of a feeling, emotion, intention, belief, a meaning. Something came up. And from that meaning, the first place that got triggered was the pineal. They said that was the orchestra leader. And the pineal then entrained the pituitary, the thyroid, the thymus, the pancreas, the gonads, the adrenals, the exact same order as we had read about in terms of the chakras for thousands of years. The two systems match up exactly. So all of a sudden, psychoneuroimmunology became psychoneuroimmunoendocrinology. We've been looking at everything in terms of that beam of light coming in. Everything is changing right now, and we need to start looking at this other process of light. Not the light that we can see or that allows us to see the field of electromagnetism, but the higher dimensional light, the light that sees us, the light by which we see, which is a whole different light. We see an object in space and we say light reflects off of that. And the space in between, we say it's just empty space. In fact, they used to call it the quantum vacuum. Now it's called the quantum plenum. What they've discovered is that that space is not empty at all. It is so filled with coherent light that in 1 cubic centimeter of space, there is enough light there that it could create all of the matter of the entire universe. We don't see this light because there's no contrast. The eye is designed to see contrast. This quantum plenum is just, how do you say it? It's just solid light. There's no contrast. Everything is exactly the same everywhere you go. Every point is the center. What's very interesting about this space that we used to think was empty, which we now realize is full, is that the way light behaves there is exactly the same way that consciousness behaves. There's definitely some different types of light. You know, often we hear people say in the beginning, the Bible said, "Let there be light." But then it said, on the fourth day, God created the sun, moon, and the stars. Two different kinds of light. That quantum plenum I'm speaking about is the first light. That's the light of creation. What is significant about that is that I spent many years looking at how light is guiding the body, not only by way of vision, but by way of physiology. I looked at the work of Fritz Holwich and many other people who had done pioneering work that demonstrated very clearly that light entering the eye was interacting with the most important centers of the body, telling the body what was happening in Mother Nature so that the body could always be in a state of oneness with nature. It was all about timing. Ultimately, my sense is that our journey is about finding the compass inside ourselves that is inseparably linked with the compass of the universe, so that we are continually being moved in a way that is harmonious with life. this higher dimensional light, that which comes not through the eye, but enters awareness. How it happens, I have no idea. I believe that's why they called it the third eye, the pineal. It wasn't because it was number 3. I believe that these two give us 3-dimensional vision, but the other one takes us to a totally different multi-dimensional experience that picks up this quantum plenum, this higher dimensional light, this light of God, this light of spirit, whatever you want to call it. And just as the light entering the eye is guiding the eye so that we move through space appropriately in relation to everything else, and the light entering the eye is telling the physiology, what time of the day is it, what day is it, what season, all of the information necessary so every cellular component can orchestrate its internal function and synchronize itself with Mother Nature. Everything is bringing us into a state of oneness. Now what is intriguing to me is this other aspect of light. This light that is touching the spirit, touching awareness, and literally giving us the road sign of what's the next piece. What's the next piece? Now what's happening for me is it's clear to me for a long time I'm not seeing with my physical eyes. Yes, the eyes are open. I'm aware of that, but that is not what is guiding my life. And I cannot give you any reason or explanation, because just as quantum physicists talk about the fact that until there is an observer, everything stays in an infinite state of potentiality. Everything and anything is possible. Nothing is predictable. Now, take a look at this. This is the same eye on the same patient within about 2 minutes. Maybe less than 2. No, it's less than 2 minutes. I think the whole thing maybe is within 15 seconds, actually. Now, look at this, and look at this, and look at this. What's the difference?
Photons. Inner light.
What's the difference? Yeah, do you see the amount of light coming out of the eye? Now, you're seeing that with an instrument called a retinoscope. Eye doctors frequently use this instrument. They do a technique called retinoscopy. Now, they use that frequently. A lot of doctors are not using it this day, but frequently it was used to objectively measure the prescription. But there's a technique called dynamic retinoscopy, which very few doctors use, where you're looking at the light emission from the eye as the person is involved in something. Let's say they're reading, and the reading is very difficult for them. It's going to look like this. It's almost like they're walking through thick mud. Why? Because they are efforting. The moment the effort is released and it's clear, boom, like this. The body is designed to function without effort. We're all conditioned to try, and the major way we try is by continually thinking. Because we were never told that something could actually think us and feed the information to us free of charge. We were conditioned to actually the opposite. We have to look for it. The moment we begin to effort, the light emission from the body reduces dramatically, not only through the eye, but in the aura. If you can see someone's aura, ask them to think about something while they're looking and while you're viewing it. And you'll see that sometimes it just disappears. When the thinking stops, the breathing starts. And as soon as that begins, The primal rhythm is back, and there's this incredible interchange of light coming in and going out of the eye. You can also measure this with a device called a spectral radiometer, which I did in 1986. I wrote about it in Light Medicine of the Future. This is a device that, for instance, you could point it at the sun or a light, and it would give you the spectral output of that source. But you can also point it into the eye, and you can see what's coming out of the eye. And it's like an energetic fingerprint. It's different for everybody. I think these are very, very interesting things that we have to be looking at, because anytime that we engage that effort and we start looking for something, everything begins to constrict. The field of vision, which reduces the amount of light coming in, but it also reduces the flow of light coming out. You can't find the answer when you're looking for it. It only gets to the tip of your tongue. We need to begin to actually ask the question, does the process of the way we have been conditioned to think actually get us to where we're looking for? Because it dramatically reduces light output. Let me define what I mean by thinking. Most of us think that stuff that's going on inside is the thinking. No, that's actually called worrying. That's what all of us engage in hopes that things will come out our way. That's the internal rehearsal. We want to get it right. We want to pass the test. We want to look appropriate, and so on. That's the chatter we're creating. That robs us of our life source. It's very, very stressful. What I was speaking before about when something enters the awareness, that's when the universe always has the first serve. That's the little spark that comes in and gives you a hit of inspiration. It points you in the direction that's looking for you. Then what follows is a different kind of thought. It's not a worry. It's just responding to what is being brought in. It's a whole different process. Read about the lives of Da Vinci or Einstein. They all tell you the same thing. When the great discovery came, they don't know how it happened. Why? Because creativity always comes as a quantum leap. You never know when it's going to happen. It comes totally by itself. That's why creativity is so damn exciting. It just comes out of nowhere. You can really see a great example when you look at the ocean here. The whole sea looks like one thing, and you see little things going up and down, and then bigger ones going up, and then all of a sudden water comes out at one spot, and then it goes back in. That's the way consciousness works. And it's very interesting because so much of what people are saying today is that you can make anything you want happen. See whether that's actually the case. See whether that's actually the case for you, because the whole process of trying to make something happen, at least from my observation over the years, and I was doing this kind of retinoscopy from the very early 70s, really reduces light emission. It reduces the flow. The person is no longer in a state of flow. And the real effectiveness of our light is that the person, if they're in a more expanded state, if they feel at home with you, then the light can have very, very potent effects. And it doesn't take a lot to make it happen. It can happen very, very quickly. Very, very quickly.